Good evening, and welcome to Footnotes and Folly. I am Professor Reginald St. John Pemberton, and tonight we open one of Shakespeare's richest and most beloved plays, half grand history, half glorious comedy, the first part of King Henry IV. We give you the whole of it, complete and unabridged, in clear modern English. The plain rendering and the asides are my own. This is part 1. Henry Bolingbroke, who took the crown from Richard II, sits uneasy upon a throne won by usurpation, his land already torn by new rebellion. Word comes that the fiery young Harry Percy Hotspur has crushed the Scots, and the king half wishes this gallant rebel were his son instead of his own wastrel boy, Prince Hal, who idles his days in the East cheap taverns with the fattest, wittiest, most disreputable knight in all of England, Sir John Falstaff. Yet behind his careless laughter, the prince has a secret purpose. The Percys begin to plot, and on a dark highway at Gads-Hill, thieves are themselves robbed for a jest. Let us begin.
The king enters with Lord John of Lancaster, the Earl of Westmoreland, and others. Though we are shaken and pale with care, we have at last found time for frightened peace to catch its breath, even while we speak in short gasps of new wars to begin on far-off shores. No longer shall the thirsty mouth of this land be smeared with the blood of her own children. No longer shall war cut trenches through her fields, or crush her flowers under the armed hoofs of hostile marches. The eyes that lately glared against each other like meteors in a troubled sky, all born of one nature and one blood, and met in the furious clash of civil slaughter, shall now form fitting ranks together, march all one way, and turn no more against friends, kin, and allies. The blade of war, like a badly sheathed knife, shall no longer wound its master. Therefore, friends, we will raise an English army at once for the sepulchre of Christ. Under his blessed cross, as his soldiers, we are sworn and bound to fight. These English arms, shaped in their mother's wombs, shall chase the pagans from those holy fields where those blessed feet once walked, feet that 1400 years ago were nailed, for our salvation, to the bitter cross. But this plan of ours is now a year old, and it is useless merely to say again that we will go. That is not why we meet now. So let me hear from you, my gentle cousin Westmoreland, what our council decided last night about advancing this dear expedition. My liege, that urgent matter was being hotly debated, and many limits of the charge were set down only last night, when across it all, a messenger came from Wales loaded with heavy news. The worst of it was that noble Mortimer, leading the men of Herefordshire to fight against the lawless and wild Glendower, was taken by the rough hands of that Welshman. 1,000 of his people were butchered, and their dead bodies were so abused, so beastly and shamelessly transformed by the Welsh women, that it cannot be retold or spoken of without deep shame. It seems then that the news of this conflict broke off our business for the Holy Land. That, joined with other news, did so, my gracious lord. For more uneven and unwelcome news came from the north, and this is what it reported. On Holy Rood Day, the gallant Hotspur there, young Harry Percy, met brave Archibald, that ever valiant and well-proved Scot, at Homedon, where they spent a sad and bloody hour. So the news was told by the noise of their artillery and by every sign of likelihood, for the man who brought it mounted and rode away in the very heat and pride of their struggle, uncertain how the battle would end. Here is a dear and truly diligent friend, Sir Walter Blunt, newly dismounted from his horse, stained with every kind of soil between Homedon and this seat of ours, and he has brought us smooth and welcome news. The Earl of Douglas is defeated. Sir Walter saw 10,000 bold Scots and 22 knights lying pooled in their own blood on Homedon's plains. As prisoners, Hotspur took Mortimer, Earl of Fife and eldest son to beaten Douglas, and also the Earl of Athol of Moray, Angus, and Menteith. Is this not an honourable spoil, a gallant prize? Ha, cousin, is it not? In faith, it is a conquest fit for a prince to boast of. Yes, and there you make me sad, and make me sin by envying that my Lord Northumberland should be father to so blessed a son who is the very theme on honour's tongue, the straightest plant among the whole grove, sweet Fortune's favourite and her pride. While I, looking at the praise given him, see riot and dishonour stain the brow of my young Harry. Oh, if only it could be proved that some fairy, wandering by night, had exchanged our children in their cradle clothes as they lay, and called mine Percy and his Plantagenet. Then I would have his Harry, and he would have mine. But let him leave my thoughts. What do you think cause of this young Percy's pride? The prisoners he has captured in this adventure he keeps for his own use, and sends me word that I shall have none of them except Mortimer, Earl of Fife. This is his uncle's teaching. This is Worcester, spiteful toward you in every respect, who makes him preen himself and raise the proud crest of youth against your dignity. But I have sent for him to answer this. For this cause we must neglect our holy purpose to Jerusalem for a while. Cousin, on Wednesday next we will hold our council at Windsor. Inform the lords of that. But come yourself back to us quickly, for more must be said and done than can be spoken in anger. I will, my liege. They exit. Prince Henry and Sir John Falstaff enter. Now, Hal, what time of day is it, lad? You have made your wits so fat with drinking old sack, unbuttoning yourself after supper, and sleeping on benches after noon, that you have forgotten how to ask for the thing you really want to know. What the devil have you to do with the time of day? Unless hours were cups of sack, minutes were roasted chickens, clocks were bawds' tongues, sundials were signs outside brothels, and the blessed sun himself were a fair hot girl in flame. Colored taffeta, I see no reason why you should be so unnecessary as to ask the time. Indeed, you come close to my meaning now, Hal, for we who take Percys travel by the moon and the 7 stars, not by Phobos, that fair wandering night. And I pray you, sweet rogue, when you are king, as God save your grace majesty, I should say, for grace you will have none. What none? No, by my faith, not enough to serve as a prologue to an egg and butter. Well then, what? Come plainly, plainly. Why then, sweet rogue, when you are king, do not let us who are squires of the night's body be called thieves of the day's beauty. Let us be Diana's foresters, gentlemen of the shade, favourites of the moon, and let men say we are men of good government, since we are governed, as the sea is, by our noble and chaste mistress the moon, under whose face we steal. You speak well, and the comparison holds well too, for the fortunes of us moon, men ebb and flow like the sea, since we are governed as the sea is by the moon. Here is proof, a purse of gold resolutely snatched on Monday night and dissolutely spent on Tuesday morning, gotten by crying, lie down, and spent by crying, bring it in. Now as low in ebb as the foot of a ladder, and soon as high in flood as the top of the gallows. By the Lord, you speak true, lad. And is not my hostess of the tavern a most sweet woman? As sweet as the honey of Hybla, my old lad of the castle. And is not a buff leather jerkin a most sweet prisoner's robe? What now, mad rogue? Are you at your quips and riddles? What plague have I to do with a buff jerkin? Why, what pox have I to do with my hostess of the tavern? Well, you have called her to account many a time and often. Did I ever call for you to pay your share? No, I will give you your due. You have paid all there. Yes, and elsewhere too, as far as my money would stretch, and where it would not, I have used my credit. Yes, and so used it that, if it were not plain you are heir apparent, but I pray you, sweet rogue, will there be gallows standing in England when you are king? Will courage be cheated as it is now with the rusty curb of old Father Antic the law? Do not, when you are king, hang a thief. No. You shall. Shall I? Oh, rare. By the Lord, I will be a brave judge. You judge falsely already. I mean you shall have the hanging of the thieves, and so become a rare hangman. Well, Hal, well, and in some ways it fits my humour, as well as waiting at court, I can tell you. For obtaining suits. Yes, for obtaining suits. The hangman has no lean wardrobe. God's blood, I am as melancholy as a tomcat or a baited bear. Or an old lion, or a lover's lute. Yes, with the drone of a Lincolnshire bagpipe. What do you say to a hare, or the melancholy of Moorditch? You have the most unsavoury comparisons, and are indeed the most comparative, rascally, sweet young prince. But Hal, I pray you, trouble me no more with empty things. I wish to God you and I knew where a stock of good names could be bought. An old lord of the council scolded me the other day in the street about you, sir, but I paid him no mind, though he talked very wisely. I did not regard him, though he talked wisely, and in the street too. You did well, for wisdom cries out in the streets, and no man pays attention. Oh, you have damnable repetition, and you are truly able to corrupt a saint. You have done me much harm, Hal. God forgive you for it. Before I knew you, Hal, I knew nothing, and now, if a man should speak truly, I am little better than one of the wicked. I must give up this life, and I will give it up. By the Lord, if I do not, I am a villain. I will be damned for no king's son in Christendom. Where shall we take a purse tomorrow, Jack? Zounds, wherever you like, lad. I will be one of the party. If I do not, call me villain and shame me. I see a fine amendment of life in you, from praying to purse staking. Why, Hal, it is my vocation, Hal. It is no sin for a man to work in his vocation. Poins enters. Poins. Now we shall know whether Gads-Hill has arranged a job. Oh, if men were saved by merit, what hole in hell would be hot enough for him? This is the most all-powerful villain that ever cried stand. To an honest man. Good morning, Ned. Good morning, sweet Hal. What says Monsieur Remorse? What says Sir John Sacken? Sugar. Jack, how do the devil, and you agree about your soul, the one you sold him last Good Friday for a cup of Madeira, and a cold capon's leg? Sir John stands by his word. The devil shall have his bargain, for Jack was never yet a breaker of proverbs. He will give the devil his due. Then you are damned for keeping your word with the devil. Otherwise he would have been damned for cheating the devil. But my lads, tomorrow morning, early at 4 o'clock at Gads-Hill, there are pilgrims going to Canterbury with rich offerings, and traders riding to London with fat purses. I have masks for you all, you have horses for yourselves. Gads-Hill lies tonight in Rochester. I have ordered supper tomorrow night in Eastcheap. We may do it as safely as sleep. If you will go, I will stuff your purses full of crowns. If you will not, stay at home and be hanged. Listen, Edward, if I stay at home and do not go, I will hang you for going. You will, chops. Hal, will you be one of us? Who I rob? I a thief? Not I, by my faith. There is neither honesty, manhood, nor good fellowship in you, and you cannot have come from royal blood, if you dare not stand for 10 shillings. Well then, once in my days I will be a madcap. Why, that is well said. Well, come what may, I will stay at home. By the Lord, then, I will be a traitor when you are king. I do not care. Sir John, I pray you, leave the prince and me alone. I will lay before him such reasons for this adventure that he will go. Well, God give you the spirit of persuasion, and give him ears that profit by it, so that what you speak may move him and what he hears may be believed, so that the true prince may, for recreation's sake, prove a false thief, since the poor abuses of the time need patronage. Farewell. You shall find me in East cheap. Farewell, you late spring. Farewell all. Hello, summer. Falstaff exits. Now, my good sweet honey lord, ride with us tomorrow. I have a jest to carry out that I cannot manage alone. Falstaff, Bardolph, Peto, and Gads-Hill shall rob the men we have already marked. You and I will not be there. And when they have the booty, if you and I do not rob them, cut this head from my shoulders. But how shall we separate from them when we set out? Why, we will set out before or after them, and appoint them a meeting place where we may choose not to appear. Then they will venture on the exploit by themselves, and as soon as they have achieved it, we will set upon them. Yes, but it is likely they will know us by our horses, by our clothing, and by every other sign to be ourselves. Tut, they shall not see our horses. I will tie them in the wood. We will change our masks after we leave them, and, sir, I have buckram cloaks made for the purpose, to hide the outward garments they know. Yes, but I fear they will be too strong for us. Well, as for 2 of them, I know they are as true-bred cowards as ever turned back, and as for the third, if he fights longer than he sees reason to, I will give up arms forever. The virtue of this jest will be the impossible lies that this same fat rogue will tell us when we meet at supper, how he fought with at least 30 men, what guards, what blows, what extremities he endured, and in exposing him, the jest lives. Well, I will go with you. Provide everything necessary, and meet me tomorrow night in East cheap. There I will sup. Farewell. Farewell, my lord. Poins exits. I know you all, and for a while I will support the unbridled humor of your idleness. Yet in this I will imitate the sun, who allows base, contagious clouds to smother his beauty from the world, so that, when he chooses again to be himself, being mist, he may be wondered at all the more by breaking through the foul and ugly mists that seem to strangle him. If all the year were spent playing holiday, sport would become as tedious as work, but when holidays come rarely, they come wished for, and nothing pleases except rare events. So when I throw off this loose behavior and pay the debt I never promised, by how much better I am than my word, by so much will I defeat men's expectations. And like bright metal on a dull ground, my reformation, glittering over my fault, shall show more beautifully and draw more eyes than virtue with no dark background to set it off. I will offend in such a way as to make offence an art, redeeming time when men think I least will. Prince Henry exits. King Henry enters with Northumberland, Worcester, Hotspur, Sir Walter Blunt, and others. My blood has been too cold and mild, too slow to rise against these insults, and you have noticed it, for you have trampled on my patience. But be sure of this, from now on I will be more truly myself, powerful and feared, rather than what my nature has lately been, smooth as oil, soft as young down, and therefore stripped of that respect which proud souls pay only to the proud. Our house, my sovereign lord, hardly deserves to have the whip of greatness used against it, and that same greatness is when our own hands help make so grand. My lord. Worcester, go. I see danger and disobedience in your eye. Sir, your presence is too bold and absolute. Majesty has never been able to endure the sullen frontier of a servant's brow. You have full permission to leave us. When we need your service and counsel, we shall send for you. Worcester exits. King Henry turns to Northumberland. You were about to speak. Yes, my good lord. The prisoners demanded in your highness's name, whom Harry Percy here took at home down, were not, as he says, refused with such force as has been reported to your majesty. So either envy or misunderstanding is guilty of this fault, not my son. My liege, I did not refuse any prisoners. But I remember that when the fight was over, when I was dry with rage and extreme labor, breathless and faint, leaning on my sword, a certain lord came to me, neat and trimly dressed, fresh as a bridegroom. His newly shaved chin looked like stubble, land at harvest. He was perfumed like a maker of ladies' finery, and between his finger and thumb he held a scent-box, which every now and then he gave to his nose and then took away again. His nose, angered when it came back, sniffed at it. Still he smiled and talked. As soldiers carried dead bodies by, he called them ignorant, ill-mannered rogues for bringing a dirty, ugly corpse between the wind and his nobility. With many holiday and lady-like phrases he questioned me, and among the rest demanded my prisoners on your majesty's behalf. Then, with my wounds cold and smarting, in my pain and impatience at being pestered by such a parrot, I answered carelessly, I know not what, that he should or should not have them. For he drove me mad, shining so briskly, smelling so sweet, and talking like a waiting gentlewoman about guns, drums, and wounds. God save us. He told me the finest thing on earth was spermaceti for an inward bruise, and that it was a great pity, yes it was, that this villainous saltpetre should be dug out of the bowels of harmless earth, since it had destroyed many a good tall fellow so cowardly, and but for these vile guns, he himself would have been a soldier. This bare, disjointed chatter of his, my lord, I answered indirectly, as I said. I beg you, do not let his report pass as a valid accusation between my love and your high majesty. Considering the circumstances, Good my lord, whatever Harry Percy then said to such a person, in such a place at such a time, with all the rest that has been told, may reasonably die there and never rise again to wrong him or impeach what he said then, if he takes it back now. Why, even now he still denies his prisoners, but with a condition and exception, that at our own expense we must immediately ransom his brother-in-law, that foolish Mortimer, who, on my soul, has wilfully betrayed the lives of those he led to fight against that great magician damned Glendower, whose daughter, we hear, the Earl of March has lately married. Shall our coffers be emptied to bring home a traitor? Shall we purchase treason and make terms with fears after they have lost and forfeited themselves? No. Let him starve on the barren mountains, for I will never count that man my friend whose tongue asks me for 1 penny to ransom home revolted Mortimer. Revolted Mortimer. He never revolted, my sovereign liege, but fell by the chance of war. To prove it true, no tongue is needed except all those wounds, those mouth-like wounds he valiantly took when, on gentle Severn's reedy bank, he stood hand to hand in single combat, and spent the better part of an hour exchanging hard blows with great Glendower. 3 times they paused for breath, and 3 times, by agreement, they drank from swift Severn's flood, which, frightened by their bloody looks, ran fearfully among the trembling rids and hid its rippled head in the hollow bank, stained with the blood of these brave combatants. Never did bare and rotten policy colour its workings with such deadly wounds, nor could noble Mortimer ever receive so many, and all willingly. So do not let him be slandered as a rebel. You lie about him, Percy, you lie about him. He never encountered Glendower. I tell you, he would as soon have dared meet the devil alone as meet Owen Glendower as an enemy. Are you not ashamed? But, sirrah, from now on let me not hear you speak of Mortimer. Send me your prisoners by the quickest means, or you shall hear from me in a way that will displease you. My lord Northumberland, we permit you to depart with your son. Send us your prisoners, or you shall hear of it. King Henry exits with Blunt and the train. Even if the devil himself comes and roars for them, I will not send them. I will go after him at once and tell him so, for I will ease my heart, though I risk my head. What, drunk with anger? Stay and pause a while. Here comes your uncle. Worcester enters. Speak of Mortimer? By God's wounds, I will speak of him, and may my soul lose mercy if I do not join with him. Yes, for his cause I will empty all these veins and shed my dear blood drop by drop into the dust. But I will raise the trodden-down Mortimer as high in the air as this ungrateful king, this thankless, cankered Bolingbroke. Brother, the king has made your nephew mad. Who stirred up this heat after I was gone? He will, forsooth, have all my prisoners, and when I urged again the ransom of my wife's brother, then his cheek turned pale, and he turned an eye of death upon my face, trembling even at the name of Mortimer. I cannot blame him. Was not Mortimer proclaimed by dead Richard as next in blood? He was. I heard the proclamation. It was when the unhappy king, whose wrongs done by us God pardon, set out on his Irish expedition, from which, intercepted, he returned only to be deposed and soon murdered. And for his death we live scandalized and foully spoken of in the wide mouth of the world. But wait, I pray you. Did King Richard then proclaim my brother Edmund Mortimer heir to the crown? He did. I heard it myself. Then, I cannot blame his cousin king for wishing him to starve on barren mountains. But shall it be that you, who set the crown upon this forgetful man's head, and for his sake wear the hated stain of murderous plotting, shall it be that you endure a world of curses, being the agents, or the base second means, the cords the latter, or rather the hangman? Oh, pardon me for sinking so low in speech, only to show the line and condition in which you stand under this subtle king. Shall it be spoken to your shame in these days, or fill chronicles in time to come, that men of your nobility and power pledged both in an unjust cause, as both of you, God pardon it, have done, to put down Richard, that sweet lovely rose, and plant this thorn, this canker Bolingbroke? And shall it be spoken with still more shame that you are fooled, discarded, and shaken off by the man for whom you underwent these shames? No. There is still time for you to redeem your banished honors and restore yourselves to the world's good opinion. Take revenge for the mocking and scornful contempt of this proud king, who studies day and night how to repay all the debt he owes you with the bloody payment of your deaths. Therefore I say, please, cousin, say no more. Now I will open a secret book, and to your quick, eager discontents I will read matter deep and dangerous, as full of peril and daring spirit as crossing a roaring river on the unsteady footing of a spear. If we fall in, good night, sink or swim. Send danger from the east to the west, so honor crosses it from north to south, and let them grapple. Oh, the blood is more stirred by waking a lion than by starting a hare. The thought of some great exploit drives him beyond all patience. By heaven, I think it would be an easy leap to pluck bright honor from the pale-faced moon, or dive to the bottom of the deep, where no sounding line could ever touch ground, and drag drowned honor up by the hair, so that whoever rescued her from there might wear all her dignities without a rival. But shame on this half-hearted partnership. He sees a world of images here, but not the shape of what he should attend to. Good cousin, listen to me for a while. I beg your pardon. Those same noble Scots who are your prisoners. I will keep them all. By God, he shall not have one Scot of them. No, if a Scot would save his soul, he shall not have him. I will keep them by this hand. You fly off at once and give no ear to my plans. Those prisoners you shall keep. Yes, I will. That is settled. He said he would not ransom Mortimer, and forbade my tongue to speak of Mortimer. But I will find him when he lies asleep, and in his ear I will shout Mortimer. No, I will have a starling taught to say nothing but Mortimer, and give it to him, to keep his anger always moving. Hear one word, cousin. I solemnly defy all studies now except how to gall and pinch this Bolingbroke. And that sword, and buckler Prince of Wales, except that I think his father does not love him, and would be glad, if he met some mischance, I would have him poisoned with a pot of ale. Farewell, kinsman. I will talk with you when you are better tempered to listen. Why, what a wasp-stung, impatient fool you are, to break into this womanish mood, fastening your ear to no tongue but your own. Why, look you, I am whipped and scourged with rods, nettled and stung by ants, whenever I hear of this vile politician, Bolingbroke. In Richard's time, what do you call the place? A plague on it! It is in Gloucestershire. It was where the madcap Duke kept his uncle York, where I first bowed my knee to this king of smiles, this Bolingbroke, by God's blood, when you and he came back from Ravensburg. At Berkeley Castle. You say true. Why, what a sugary heap of courtesy that fawning greyhound offered me then. Look, when his infant Fortune came of age, and gentle Harry Percy and kind cousin. Oh, the devil take such cheaters. God forgive me. Good uncle, tell your tale. I have done. No, if you have not, go on again. We will wait on your leisure. I have done, in faith. Then once more to your Scottish prisoners. Deliver them up at once without their ransom, and make the Douglas son your only means for raising forces in Scotland, for several reasons, which I will send you in writing. Be assured this will easily be granted. To Northumberland. You, my lord, while your son is thus employed in Scotland, shall secretly creep into the confidence of that same noble and well-loved prelate, the Archbishop of York, is it not? True, he deeply resents his brother's death at Bristol, the Lord Scroop. I do not speak this as a guess about what might be, but as what I know is being considered, plotted, and set down, and only waits to see the face of the opportunity that will bring it on. I smell it. Upon my life, it will do well. Before the game is even afoot, you still slip the leash. Why, it cannot help being a noble plot. And then the power of Scotland and of York will join with Mortimer, ha? And so they shall. In faith, it is exceedingly well aimed. And no small reason urges us to hurry, to save our heads by raising a head. For however evenly we behave, the king will always think he is in our debt, and think that we think ourselves unsatisfied, until he has found a time to pay us back. See already how he begins to make us strangers to his loving looks. He does. We will be revenged on him. Cousin, farewell. Go no further in this than I shall direct your course by letters. When time is ripe, which will be suddenly, I will steal away to Glendower and Lord Mortimer, where you and Douglas, and all our powers at once, as I arrange it, shall happily meet, to carry our fortunes in our own strong arms, which now we hold in great uncertainty. Farewell, good brother. We shall thrive, I trust. Uncle, adieu. Oh, let the hours be short until fields and blows and groans applaud our sport. They exit. A carrier enters with a lantern in his hand. Ha ho! If it is not 4 a.m, I will be hanged. Charles's wain is over the new chimney, and still our horse is not packed. What ostler? Coming. Please, Tom, beat out Cut's saddle and put a few tufts of wool in the point. The poor nag is rubbed raw at the withers beyond all measure. Another carrier enters. The peas and beans are as damp here as a dog, and that is the quickest way to give poor horses the bots. This house has been turned upside down since Robin the ostler died. Poor fellow, he never had any joy after the price of oats went up. That was the death of him. I think this is the vilest house on the whole London road for fleas. I am stung all over, like a tench. Like a tench. By the mass, no Christian king could be better bitten than I have been since the first cock crowed. Why, they will not even give us a chamber pot. Then we piss in the chimney, and your chamber slops breed fleas like fish spawn. What ostler? Come here and be hanged, come here. I have a gammon of bacon and 2 roots of ginger to be delivered as far as Charing Cross. God's body. The turkeys in my pannier are nearly starved. What ostler? Plague take you. Have you no eyes in your head? Can you not hear? If cracking your skull were not as good a deed as taking a drink, I would be a true villain. Come here and be hanged. Have you no honesty in you? Gads-Hill enters. Good morning, carriers. What time is it? I think it is 2 o'clock. Please lend me your lantern, so I can look at my gelding in the stable. No, by God, easy there. I know a trick worth 2 of that, truly. Please lend me yours. Yes, when? Can you tell me that? Lend me your lantern, he says. By Mary, I will see you hanged first. You there, carrier, what time do you mean to come to London? Time enough to go to bed by candlelight, I warrant you. Come, neighbour Muggs, we will wake the gentlemen. They will travel with company, for they are carrying valuable goods. Harriers leave. What ho! Chamberlain. The chamberlain enters. At hand, says the pickpocket. That is just as fair as at hand, says the chamberlain, for you no more differ from picking purses than giving directions differs from doing labour. You lay the plan for how it is done. Good morning, Master Gadshill. The news still holds good, that I told you last night. There is a franklin from the Weald of Kent who has brought 300 marks in gold with him. I heard him tell one of his companions at supper last night, a sort of auditor, one who has a great amount in his charge too, God knows what. They are up already and calling for eggs and butter. They will leave at once. Sirrah, if they do not meet with St. Nicholas's clerks, I will give you this neck of mine. No, I will have none of it. Please keep that for the hangman, for I know you worship St. Nicholas as faithfully as a false man can. Why do you talk to me of the hangman? If I hang, I will make a fat pair of gallows, for if I hang, old Sir John hangs with me, and you know he is no starveling. Tut, there are other Trojans you never dream of, who, for sport, are content to lend some credit to the profession, and if matters were looked into for their own reputations they would make everything right. I am joined with no foot-ped landrakers, no long-staffed sixpenny clubbers, none of these mustached, purple-faced drunkards, but with nobility and quiet respectability, burgomasters and great money men, men who can hold back, who will strike sooner than speak, speak sooner than drink, and drink sooner than pray. And yet, zounds, I lie, for they pray continually to their saint, the Commonwealth, or rather they do not pray to her, but pray on her, for they ride up and down on her and make her their boots. What, the Commonwealth their boots? Will she keep out water on a muddy road? She will, justice has greased her. We steal as safely as if we were in a castle, absolutely sure. We have the recipe for fern seed, we walk invisible. No, by my faith, I think you owe more to the knight than to fern seed for walking invisible. Give me your hand. You shall have a share in our winnings, as I am an honest man. No, rather let me have it, as you are a false thief. Come now, Homo is a name common to all men. Tell the ostler to bring my gelding out of the stable. Farewell, you muddy knave. They leave. Prince Henry and Poins enter, with Bardolph and Peto keeping back at a distance. Come, hide. I have taken Falstaff's horse away, and he is fretting like glued velvet. Keep close. They withdraw. Falstaff enters. Poins, and be hanged. Poins. Quiet, you fat, kidneyed rascal. What a racket you are making. Where's Poins, hell? He has walked up to the top of the hill. I will go look for him. Prince Henry withdraws. I am cursed to rob in that thief's company. The rascal has moved my horse and tied him I know not where. If I walk 4 more square feet on foot, I shall lose my breath. Well, I do not doubt I will die a respectable death after all this, if I escape hanging for killing that rogue. I have sworn off his company every hour of these 22 years, and yet I am bewitched by the rogue's company. If the rascal has not given me drugs to make me love him, I will be hanged. It cannot be otherwise. I have drunk potions. Poins. Hell. A plague on you both. Bardolph. Peto. I will starve before I rob another step on foot. If turning honest and leaving these rogues were not as good a deed as drinking, I would be the worst villain that ever chewed with a tooth. 8 yards of rough ground is 70 miles on foot to me, and the stone-hearted villains know it well enough. A plague on it when thieves cannot be true to one another. Phew! A plague on you all! Give me my horse, you rogues! Give me my horse and be hanged! Peace, you fat guts! Lie down, put your ear close to the ground, and listen if you can hear the tread of travelers. Have you any livers to lift me up again once I am down? By God's blood, I will not carry my own flesh so far on foot again for all the coin in your father's treasury. What the plague do you mean by making a colt of me like this? You lie. You are not colted, you are uncolted. I beg you, good Prince Hal, help me to my horse, good king's son. Away, you rogue. Shall I be your stableman? Hang yourself in your own heir-apparent garters. If I am taken, I will inform on you for this. If I do not have ballads made about you all, sung to filthy tunes, let a cup of sack be my poison. When a joke is this forward, and on foot too, I hate it. Gads-Hill enters. Stand. So I do, against my will. Oh, it is our setter. I know his voice. Gads-Hill comes forward with Bardolph and Peto. What news? Get ready, put on your masks. There is money of the king's coming down the hill, on its way to the king's treasury. You lie, you rogue. It is going to the king's tavern. There is enough to make us all to be hanged. Sirs, you 4 shall face them in the narrow lane. Ned Poins and I will walk farther down. If they escape your attack, then they fall on us. How many of them are there? Some 8 or 10. God's wounds, will they not rob us? What, a coward, Sir John Paunch? Indeed, I am not John of Gaunt, your grandfather, but still no coward, hell. Well, we leave that to the proof. Listen, Jack, your horse stands behind the hedge. When you need him, you will find him there. Farewell, and stand firm. Now I cannot strike him, even if I should be hanged for it. Ned, where are our disguises? Here, close by. Keep hidden. Prince Henry and Poins leave. Now, my masters, let the lucky man have his share, say I. Every man to his business. The travellers enter. Come, neighbour, the boy shall lead our horses down the hill. We will walk on foot a while and ease our legs. Stand. Jesu bless us. Strike. Down with them. Cut the villains' throats. Ah, horse and caterpillars, bacon-fed knaves, they hate us youth. Down with them, fleece them. Oh, we are ruined, both we and ours forever. Hang you, pot, bellied knaves, are you ruined? No, you fat chuffs, I wish your whole store were here. On, bacon's on. What, you knaves? Young men must live. You are grand jurors, are you? We will jury you, faith. They rob the travellers and bind them, then leave. Prince Henry and Poins enter in buckram suits. The thieves have bound the honest men. Now, if you and I robbed the thieves and went merrily to London, it would give us talk for a week, laughter for a month, and a good joke forever. Keep hidden. I hear them coming. They withdraw. The thieves enter again. Come, my masters, let us divide the take, and then to horse before day. The prince and Poins are not two complete cowards. There is no justice moving anywhere. There is no more courage in that Poins than in a wild duck. As they are sharing the money, Prince Henry and Poins attack them. Your money! Villains! After a blow or two, Falstaff and the others run away, leaving the stolen goods behind them. One with great ease. Now merrily to horse. The thieves are all scattered and so filled with fear that they dare not meet one another. Each man takes his companion for an officer. Away, good Ned! Falstaff sweats himself to death and greases the lean earth as he walks along. If it were not for laughing, I would pity him. How the fat rogue roared! They leave.
And there we pause, with the kingdom quietly splitting in two. On one side the proud Percys of Northumberland, sly Worcester, and above all the headlong Hotspur knit their conspiracy and gather their Welsh and Scottish friends on the other, a king who fears his own heir, and that heir himself, Prince Hal, robbing his fat friend on the highway by moonlight and laughing in the tavern, while privately promising to cast off these loose companions and astonish the world when his hour comes. It is rebellion and riot, treason and tavern wit, braided together. Next time, in Part 2, the immortal knight at the Boar's Head, Falstaff's monstrous, ever-growing lie, and a mock play of a king scolding his son. Mind the footnotes, and beware the folly.